Yo, what's good, everyone, man? Come on in. We live here on this Saturday, you guys, man. Man, we about to talk some pro wrestling, man. So come on in, you guys, man. We live here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and also X, man. So get ready, man. We're gonna be diving into some latest trending topics in pro wrestling, man. We're definitely gonna be talking about the AEW video footage that was leaked this past Wednesday on Dynamite, as well as, man, we got a new member of the Bloodline. Plus, man, a lot more, man, a lot more. We're gonna be chatting pro wrestling. So, like I said, man, come on in and let's get ready, man. Yo, what it do, everybody, man? Welcome to the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Appreciate everyone tuning in, man, and gathering here, man, on this Saturday to chat some pro wrestling, man. We're gonna be talking trending topics, man, that went down this past week in wrestling. Of course, WrestleMania, the dust has settled and everything. So looking forward towards the future and everything, man. But you guys, man, like I said. We live here on Facebook, the 11:30 podcast, YouTube channel, X, and Instagram, man. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're new to the show and you haven't done so already, definitely hit that subscribe button down below, you guys, man. Like it, leave a comment, and share it. Do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. All right, man. Now that's out the way. I got my little man in the background too. He like wrestling, so I thought I'd bring him in here, man, and talk about some wrestling as well. But my son is not the only one here with me, you guys, man. I got some incredible guests that's joining me here this week on the 11:30 podcast, you guys. He's one of the members of Straight Through the Ropes, you guys, man, over on the Beeline Entertainment LLC. My guy Slim, what it do, my guy?
What's up, brother? What's up, man? Happy Saturday to you.
And happy Saturday to you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on, man. And it's going well. It's going well. How about yourself? How about your day?
Doing good, man. I'm blessed, brother. Like Brian knows, I work hard every day. I just finished ordering my truck, so I got some free time now. So when you hit me up with the
Okay.
opportunity, I was like, okay, get to relax and talk some wrestling on a Saturday. So I love it, man.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, wrestling on Saturdays, man. They sort of, like that's old school right there. So I appreciate it once again as well. You guys got another guest that's joining here on the show. First time here on Talk Pro Wrestling, though. We were setting it up on Commission Talk. My guy Jason, man, what's going on with you?
What's up, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hey, it's going wonderful, man. It's going wonderful. Jason was on Commission Talk this past week by the way of Warren Marlowe. So I thought I'd bring you in. Of course, the guys were going at it, man. So I was like, man, I know Jason had a lot to say. Definitely bring him back on. And of course, Slim is a great guy, man. I love chatting pro wrestling. So thought I'd just extend the invite, man. Had the brothers on here on this Saturday, chatting pro wrestling. But before we get into some of the topics, man, I mentioned that WrestleMania was last week. It was sort of in the past, and Jay had talked about it this past week on Commission Talk a little bit. But Slim, what was your thoughts overall, man, on WrestleMania? I know you were trolling in the comments towards Brian a little bit, but what was your thoughts on night one and night two of WrestleMania week, man?
I think we said this on the STR podcast on Wednesday. night one was so theatrical that it set up night two to be more serious. And what I loved about it was I've been a wrestling fan for, I'll say, pretty much my entire life, ever since I can remember actually getting into it and actually, figuring out the business and, everything, just overall, just straight geek for wrestling. What I saw this past Sunday was a literal and figurative and showing of a changing of the new guard. Literally, we are ushering in a new era. As we all know, we've been plagued with this whole darkness of the Vince situation, not knowing who's in control, everything. And I think, honestly, what's truly set the tone was seeing Stephanie McMahon walk out into a stage that we had never seen her. We haven't seen her ever since the allegations or anything. We haven't seen her from the allegations or anything. And like to see how strong and how powerful she looked walking out in that stage. When that music hit, and I know a lot of people don't rock with her character in the E, but to see Stephanie get a pop like that was like amazing. And she said it best. That second night, even though the first night was good, to me, that second night truly began the Triple H era. And we had some title changes, good matches, but to me, the ending is Cody finally finishing his story. Even all cliches and jokes aside, that we said, we're not going to discount what Roman did. That 3-year time span when he put the company on his back was needed. I don't think nobody could put themselves in a position like that to become a mega heel, lead a mega faction like the Bloodline, do a 3-year story like the Bloodline, and have it culminate in that way. And I'll tell people, you gotta look at it like this. This was essentially all those locker room leaders coming to protect Cody, the old guard protecting the new guard and saying, "Hey kid, it's on you now." And like when I was watching Cody and Roman's entrances, it seemed like a movie. Like I was about to see something epic. And when you seen the
Yeah.
whole story of Jay taking out Jimmy, Cena coming out there, like this is my childhood, happened in my eye, Undertaker, like everything, The Rock getting chokeslam, like we had the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and they're coining this the new Renaissance era all in one. Like to me right now, it's never been better to be a wrestling fan and to see where we've come from is amazing because at one point, some kids got to realize at one point, people are still young. At one point, it was just John Cena, Randy Orton, and everybody else in between. And now you got to look
Hmm.
at where we're at now. So I think, I get excited thinking about this, man. Like we're in for something special. Like Cody as a champion, Damian as world champion, Rhea and Bailey holding down the women's scenes. I mean, even the tag team division's got a fresh look. Like this is the first time in a long time I've seen the E take some serious look at tag team wrestling. But overall, man, I think this was truly the beginning of something special for the E.
Mm. Okay. Hey, I dig it, man. I dig it. I just want to say one thing, man. Uh, like how you just said, it's a wonderful time to be a professional wrestling fan, and the WWE is on fire. And I remember back in the late '90s, early 2000s when they were in the Attitude Era, man. And obviously, it wasn't no social media, and a lot of people couldn't gather around like this. But I think it's awesome, man, because I haven't, growing up, man, especially being a black, guy and loving wrestling, you don't see too many other fellow, black guys, man, who love wrestling like yourself. So to come on the podcast, man, and chat with guys, just like you about wrestling, man, because when you were young, a lot of people was like, "Oh, wrestling," I mean, yeah, okay, that's for somebody else. So and for the time that we came in now, where it's like a new era that's ushering in, and like I mentioned, Stephanie McMahon appearance at WrestleMania and what Triple H is doing, I find it to be phenomenal. Though the comment right here, Joseph said it should have been Stone Cold instead of the Undertaker. I did not expect Stone Cold. I mean, the Undertaker. I thought the Undertaker was a little weird, a little random though. But I think it follows some of the storylines that I guess people are throwing out there. But Stone Cold, especially the Easter egg that they sort of hinted out where The Rock was whipping up Cody Rhodes, and on the truck it was John Cena and Stone Cold. Now we got John Cena, but no Stone Cold. But
I think it was well from what I read. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think because they couldn't come to a financial agreement for his appearance, so they just said, "Well, take it. Go ahead and grab your gloves real quick and put on that Scully. Go ahead and help us out real quick."
But
okay,
to me, essentially, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It would have been nice to hear the glass break in Philly and
Oh,
catch that pop, but I think we gotta look at the art of storytelling. Like, who is the
okay, break
Undertaker?
it down. Yeah, but yeah,
Like,
you mind breaking it down because how did
like
the Undertaker fill in this story?
so, like this is my thing. Like, even if you don't agree with it, yeah, it could have been Stone Cold, but at the same time, look at what the Undertaker represents in that moment. The definition of the locker room leader, the guy, the also one of the most over guys in the business, essentially Vince's guy. He never left, stayed there for over 2, 3 decades. This is the locker room leader coming to save this kid, saying, "Hey, this is on you now. I protected you." And who's more iconic? Like, who is more iconic? And you think about it, if the Undertaker gives you a stamp of approval, it borderline makes you. Look at that whole thing back with John Cena. Like, hey, good job, kid. All that way back in the day. So I mean,
yeah.
hey,
Then Jeff Hardy, he gave Jeff Hardy the stamp of approval.
yeah,
After he beat the shit out of him, but he gave him the stamp of approval.
yeah.
But yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of glad that Stone Cold did not come back because I would have definitely passed out from all that damn yelling I was doing. Because everybody, because everybody knows that like a lot of people were like Rock guys. I was a Stone Cold guy. Like Stone Cold was my favorite growing up. Then it transitioned to John Cena, and then yeah, like now it's kind of hard. Like see back like those two, like Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. I could say were my two definitive favorites. But this era, just too many good wrestlers around, too many good characters. Uh, so yeah, wonderful time to be. But Sunday was a masterpiece in my. Well, I would say the second half, like night two. I guess I was the only one that probably wasn't feeling night one as much. It had its moments, but I wasn't like excited. But night two, most of the matches, well, actually all of the matches on the card, I actually really enjoyed them. It's just night one just felt like it was just more setup to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Night one for me though, especially like the intro, they kept showing. Usually for WrestleMania, when it come on, it's a unique entrance, but it was sort of like the same old video package they have showed on that Friday night or so. But Sunday just felt brand new. It just felt different, and of course they said it was a little bit more warmer in Philly, so it wasn't chilly in Philly, as it was
Yeah,
on Saturday night. So yeah, WrestleMania was definitely great, man. Definitely great. You guys, like Triple H said, man, we all in a new era, and you guys all feel like we in a new era, right? Of wrestling in
Yeah.
the WWE.
oh
It's
yeah, like go ahead.
it's just my bad. It's just a like that Raw after WrestleMania just felt different. Like it just truly felt different. Like, I think I think Sunday was filled with such emotion that it literally you could feel that. Like Samantha Irvin crying during the announcement for Cody, like the happiness you could see from her video doing that, like, announcing Bailey as a new champion, seeing Truth get his moment finally at Mania. Like, you know, this wasn't really a pandering WrestleMania as some past have been. And I like that. We were establishing stars. We were establishing the next generation. Like, a lot of people were talking shit about Priest. Like he's gonna be a Damian Sandow or Austin Theory, and he's not gonna get the rightful cash in. And I mean, besides Seth, he's the only one that's had a mania moment with the Money in the Bank like that.
Yeah,
Okay. I agree, man. Look at it's a lot to definitely dive into. Tag team wrestling is getting a main focus now, for sure. Definitely. I agree. Last year we had the Usos taking on Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. And I think because of the Bloodline storyline, Roman Reigns said, man, he's been helping his cousins. It's not just him. He wanted to, dish it out to his cousins and everyone else in the family to definitely come up. So I think it's definitely getting the main focus. But we're gonna get into some of the topics. We're gonna definitely dive back into Priest being the world heavyweight champion and more. But AEW this past week, you guys watch AEW. You guys familiar with AEW, right?
Yes.
Yeah, AEW this past week revealed the footage from the backstage footage from All In that involved CM Punk and Jack Perry. You guys thoughts on that? Do you feel like this was a desperation move to gain sort of ratings, or people talking about it? You think it was smart for them to sort of air this on television? But for first, I didn't see the interview that CM Punk did or whatever he said, and I'm assuming this made them show this on Dynamite. But what was your guys' thoughts on this?
So, number one, the Young Bucks are petty as shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Number two, I don't get what you were supposed to accomplish with this, because he literally went on that MMA Hour podcast and said verbatim what this tape showed. Like, I don't get what this was this supposed to stop his push? Is this supposed to get him kicked out the E? I mean, he's already in a storyline with Drew McIntyre. Whenever his tricep heals up, his merch sales are still through the roof. So, I mean, this is just a petty attempt for you to, I guess, spark that tribalism again, that divide between AEW and WWE, which is bullshit anyway, because we're in an era where we've got great wrestling in both companies and all around the world. And I mean, this does nothing for anybody. I mean, CM Punk ain't worried about this. And the only thing this does for Jack Perry is last night at Windy City Riot just boost his heel popularity a little bit. If that's what the Bucks are trying to do, then that's cool. You want to try to build Jack Perry up in New Japan, and he came out Chicago last night with the flag and a jacket that said "Cry Me a River" when he was about to face Shota Umino in a match, and they were booing the shit out of him in Chicago. So he's really leaning into it. I mean, it don't do nothing for him. The Young Bucks just want to be petty. And it kind of just says that Tony Khan ain't got no real power there sometimes because he let them do what they want.
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, like people know me, like ever since like the whole CM Punk and WWE debacle, like ever since that whole time frame, I like CM Punk the wrestler, with Phil Brooks the person, just starting to get annoying, and now the Young Bucks and just people are getting annoying too, because I was just like, why? Okay, I guess in a sense it got people talking, so I guess that is a smart business decision. I guess if you want to say like you got eyes on it, or you got people eyes on your on your product. I guess me personally, I was just like I didn't have to see this. I didn't want to see this, and the fact that they tried to tie it in to the Young Bucks versus FTR, I'm like, nah, this is just stupid. Now that's when I was just like, yeah, we wasted our time. You legit wasted our time trying to tie this into an FTR storyline, and that's why I'm afraid to say like speak on air like, oh, I like AEW, because when they do shit like this, I get flack for liking AEW. Like, oh, you like how Tony Khan hit Child's ass doing this? Like, well, y'all not wrong.
And like,
Like,
I mean, the thing that gets me is like Tony Khan said he lunged at him. I ain't seen no damn lunge in that video.
yeah,
CM Punk bucked at him like, if me and my homeboys are arguing or some shit like that. He's like, fix this shit. Like, come on, man. Like, it's stupid. And like, don't get me wrong, I love AEW. I love what they're doing with Swerve, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné. They've got talented people there. But the thing is, and what people got to realize is, kill this tribalism. WWE's been around for so long that it is the NFL. AEW is just barely 4 or 5 years old, which is the equivalent of the XFL or the USFL. It's not that they can't be good, but people are going to flock to what they know first. Like, I can go ask somebody randomly on the street, a wrestling question, they're gonna know WWF, WWE, but they real.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you right.
Yeah,
Nah, you right, man. AEW got a lot of talented folks, man. Like you just mentioned, Mercedes Monet, Will Ospreay, great folks. But it's just like I was watching episode with Busted Open Radio, and they had Jay Cargill on it, and I can't remember. I think his name was Dave, and he said one thing to Jay, man. The other company, which is AEW, just didn't know what to do with Jay, and I think they got a lot of these stars over there. They just don't know what to do with them. They just want to say, "Oh, we got this," or we got that. And with AEW and with this footage being released, I felt as though it was a desperation move. Um, in the video before they showed the video, you had the young bucks talking and saying a couple of stuff how they were the hottest thing going at one point, before this whole bloodline story really like dove into it. They were hot, man. And what, it was 2020 when they came about. They were talking to town. It was like the new pro wrestling, the new wrestling lead out there. Everyone wanted something different than WWE, and then you get something different, and it's AEW, and it's like, okay, yeah, man, it's the hottest new toy on the block, and then they start bringing in, WWE guys who were signed with, obviously WWE, and it's like, well, let's create your own folks. Let's worry about these guys that's here, build up, stars you got. But they were more focused on getting former WWE guys into what I felt as though, and then Punk came in, other people came in, and it just, went the other way. And of course, WWE just started taking off, man. Just started taking off. All this great news, besides the Vince McMahon news came out, you had them going to Netflix and new deals with CW and SmackDown coming to USA, and just so much momentum that just kept picking up and kept picking up, to where even the FTR even said it on the WWE. It's the other three letters that's more popular now. And they blatantly mentioned that the WWE is kicking their ass. Like, ain't nobody, like, they watching AEW. No disrespect to them, like I said, they're a great company, but I felt like this was really a desperation move to have people talking about you, especially coming out of WrestleMania. That's all people could talk about: The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and shit. So I think definitely a desperation move by AEW.
yeah,
Uh, good, good.
and and the thing is, like me, like I said, I'm just a fan that there's wrestling almost every day of the week. That's what I'm a fan of. But like, just like to hear someone that I like, I was really starting to like Will Ospreay, just to hear him take shots at what Triple H has said. I'm like, bro, we don't got to do this, man. You're like, y'all are talented on your own. Stop. What one thing my mom always taught me, one thing my mom always taught me, and it's always stuck with me. Holding a grudge is like letting someone live inside your head rent free. And that's basically what Tony Khan is letting WWE do. They're living inside his head rent free. We all know that WWE is the big boy in town, but man, worry about your own product, because if you keep worrying about the other product on the other side, then you're gonna start turning. Then your shit gonna be WCW, and we don't want that. I don't want to see wrestling companies fail. I want to see them flourish. I like just to see different brands and styles of wrestling. Like, I go to my WWE for the shit that I know. I go to, like, AEW, for like the more hardcore wrestling side of me. Go to TNA, if I'm bored. Well, yeah. Ring of Honor if I want to see somebody get their neck kicked off. So yeah, man, it's a great time. And I'm not Ring of Honor, New Japan, sorry. But yeah, as far as this whole all in for this thing, I just hope after this, I just hope it's done. I don't want to even hear the mention of what of all. I don't want to hear the words all in put together no more. I'm so sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about this footage. I'm so sick and tired of the Young Bucks. I wish they would just stop stop being petty, which is probably not gonna happen. Tony Khan needs to grow thicker skin, and we can just move on. We all can be better as people.
Hey, I agree, man. AEW definitely need to. I believe just focus on what they got, got going on. Build superstars that they got going on. I mean,
Well,
and, they have, and just not just, obviously, competition is great for both companies, but WWE is thriving on another level to where they're not even concerned about AEW. And I think I missed the comment that Will Ospreay said, but I knew who Triple H was talking about when he was mentioning what he said. He was definitely talking about Will Ospreay, about him not wanting to come into WWE. If you want a lighter schedule, then maybe you're not ready for WWE or whatever like that. But they just need to focus on them. I thought that was really a desperation thing, coming out the WrestleMania. Hey, look, we still here. Mention, look at us. So yeah.
Well, that and like people got to realize, quit trying to get this BS joke over that just because he got with Stephanie that he got over his shit. Triple H was a monster heel before he even became McMahon, the McMahon Helmsley era. That just elevated him more. Like people got to quit with that BS. You got to realize this man literally was one of the best technical wrestlers in his generation, and the talent roster he had to go against every fucking week. Like, come on. You over there with Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, Stone Cold, Big Show, everybody in their prime. And he was a cerebral assassin, knocking niggas out with a sledgehammer. Like, don't do that whole thing where you just try to discredit him because he married Stephanie McMahon. That's BS. And if you really want to go that whole storyline, that whole power couple thing got him more over than shit. Like, come on, man. Stop with it. And I love Will Ospreay. The only thing Triple H was saying is if you want to come to the big leagues, you want to grind, you wouldn't run from it. He was saying that directly to Ospreay, directly to Okada, any superstar who feels like when they were in a different company, New Japan, and you were big as shit, and you want to talk big and say, I want to go expand, I want to go on excursion, I want to do more. Okay, you signed with AEW. Good for you. You found a schedule that works for you. I applaud that. But I think you're part of the wrestling fans that wanted to see, hey, I would have liked to see Will Ospreay versus a Seth Rollins. I would have liked to see Will Ospreay versus a friggin' random name, Carmelo Hayes, or an Axiom, or a Braun Breaker, or something like that. I would love to see Okada versus Shinsuke Nakamura again. I would love to see an Okada, with his height versus a Roman Reigns or a Cody Rhodes. Okada versus Cody Rhodes, which I believe happened on the Indies once, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, like, don't discredit the man. Don't discredit the man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. I feel like with the Will Ospreay deal, obviously he didn't want to move to the United States and stuff like that. But I feel as though with it being a new era in wrestling and especially in WWE, I just want to say, I just say never. I think he would wind up there. I think a lot of guys, especially in the past, if you came in WWE, sometimes you were not used right. Especially when Vince McMahon was in charge. And I think with Triple H right now, he's setting things in motion to where it's like, yeah, we are in a new era, and yes, we do give the superstars a chance to give their opinion on what they want to, and their ideas and stuff like that. So, hey, who knows, man? Definitely, AEW got to do better. Definitely got to do better. All right, we're gonna move on from that one, you guys. Last night, on SmackDown, we seen a new member of the Bloodline, and we were just mentioning New Japan. We just seen Tama Tonga. I always get my tongue twisted when I'm saying his name. Tonga make his WWE debut last night on Friday Night SmackDown, being the new member of the Bloodline via sort of solo Sokoa. Paul Heyman made some comments that everyone, especially losing, have consequences. Losing have consequences, and the crazy thing is, Solo, I don't think he won a match in some time though, but he's been the right hand man for Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. But since Roman is no longer champion, and you probably won't see him for some time, Solo Sikoa seems to be the new head of the chief in a way, but. Uh, Last night, like I said, losing has consequences. They took out Jimmy Uso, out of the Bloodline, and then you see Tongo. What was your guys' thoughts on this? And you feel like this is going to be some consequences down the line for Roman Reigns since he lost at WrestleMania? That's where I feel like it was sort of leading to where Solo got upset with Paul Heyman, destroyed the phone, and even cut him off.
Yeah, man. First of all, happy to see Tama Tonga in the WWE. I've been waiting for this man to come into the WWE for a while now. But as far as the bloodline situation goes, I just I just think it's funny. I just feel like we're just gonna just start. It's just gonna be a revolving door of members of the Samoan family just coming through the bloodline because apparently, like I guess there was another name that's floating out there that got signed. But as far as like what's to come, I feel like this is also just gonna tie into Roman Reigns and The Rock. Because I feel like maybe Tama Tonga was a Rock move, and you know this will be good to get eyes on Tama Tonga to see how like what he's really about, and hopefully the WWE audience really connects with him. I hope so. Like I love seeing dudes that come from different companies. I love seeing them excel wherever they go. So this should be fun. And yeah, it is kind of funny how Solo does say, "Yeah, losing has consequences." Like, bro, I can't remember the last time you won a match. Like, like I can't remember the last time you won a match. So I mean, that's consequences for you too. Like, but hey, it is what it is. But I'm excited, man. Like I said, I was growing stale of the bloodline, like the story for the longest. Like it seemed like without Cody Rhodes, like without them holding Cody down, it was just that like the whole tribal combat thing with Jimmy and Jay and all that. It was kind of growing stale because you're seeing the same thing. So I'm glad we're seeing newer things. I'm excited to see where this goes. But also, I'm also curious to see how it's going to go with Jimmy as well. Like, what's like how he's going to deal with the aftermath of all this. So I'm excited. I can actually say that I'm honestly excited about WWE again. This past Friday night was a good episode.
It was. It definitely was, man. I just feel like Solo about to take over now. He haven't
I
won a
can't.
match in a while, but I feel like he's about to because Roman Reigns always has this thing. Some members of the bloodline lose. They gotta have some consequences coming. But Roman Reigns lost, so I feel like Solo's gonna take it out on Roman when he get back. So
I can say this,
not that.
man. I can say this. Number one, finally, I am happy that Haku's son is getting a shot. No disrespect in New Japan, but in a major situation to where you can shine. My co-host, she's gonna laugh at me when I say this. First thing she said, she was like, "Everybody in the Samoan dynasty is fine as hell. Like that guy's marketable to women already. He's marketable to women already." And the writing I can see on the wall is this. Tama Tonga went up to Paul Heyman last night and said, by orders of the tribal chief. But we don't know who Tama Tonga acknowledges as his tribal chief. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this could be a move sent by Rock. This could be a major swerve and be like, hey, I ain't talking about Roman. I ain't talking about Rock. And this is a perfect way to bring in Jacob Fatu. He a big bad
Yeah.
boy too. You never know. They might have Zila Fatu in the cut too. So you never know. Never know. But I say all this to say this. This is a perfect opportunity to you done beat Jimmy down. Jay's on his whole yeet mission, about to go job to Cody out the priest in the world title picture. No disrespect, but we all know it's gonna happen. But this is gonna be a perfect opportunity to. I didn't give this order when Roman comes back. Who told you to act reckless? You're not obeying the tribal chief, and we get babyface Roman and the Usos versus a mad with power Solo, a mercenary in Tama Tonga, and a street fighter in Jacob Fatu. If you want to do that at Survivor Series and War Games, that's cool. Now, I mean, hey, I saw a poster that said, hey, you add Sammy and Rocket to the mix as old bloodline versus new bloodline. You never know. But I mean, I agree with everybody saying like it made no sense, like saying losing has consequences and Solo hasn't won a damn thing in over like 4 months. The last thing you did was John Cena at Crown Jewel, which did nothing for you. Like you're stuck in the enforcer
Yeah.
room. Right?
Hey, that'll really be something, man. To see them to actually, if they do that at Survivor Series, though. But yeah, that's what I definitely see this coming at. I mean, with Roman taking some time off, Solo been under Roman Reigns' wing for the longest. He didn't want kick Jay to the side. Jalen left did his thing. Jimmy just still hanging around, but he lost at WrestleMania, so I guess they kicked him out now. And Solo now, you can tell he's picked up all of the he's picked up all the stuff that Roman Reigns sort of does, man. Just being uh with the whole mental games, telling them, I love you, and then wind up, crushing them with the steel chair and all this stuff. I'm like, dog, like you've been around Roman Reigns a little bit too long. But to see Tonga, here in WWE, like I said, you don't know if he came for Roman Reigns. Uh,
Good.
we don't know if he
All right.
Roman Reigns sent them, or we don't know if
Yeah,
The Rock sent them, because they never really specific, said that who was the elder that sent Solo Sokoa. So that could all play a factor to all of this too. So I think it's
Very
awesome.
true.
yeah.
Very
And
true.
Very awesome.
what's so funny about all this, like just seeing Tama Tonga, like kick basically them kick Jimmy out. I like, yo, this what the Bullet Club been doing for years. Just rotating members, and the Samoa dynasty is so big that you can legit just rotate forever.
Mm.
Like, it's just like there's like people that are wrestlers that I didn't even know were in this damn family. I'm like, this family is big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
bloodline story, man, goes deep.
Yeah, like this. I
You
like
know,
God. I
if they
like.
if they if they if they're creative, which Triple H, which I see Triple H being, and if they go in that direction, right direction, obviously this bloodline story can go on, definitely for a while, but it's gonna have a whole lot of twists in turns though. Slim mentioned Jay Uso jobbing into Damian Priest. Jay Uso wins the Fatal 4-Way match on Monday Night Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania. It's going to take on Priest at Backlash. And just from a year from now, a year ago, Priest had the matchup with Bad Bunny at Backlash. It was crazy. Everybody loved that Backlash. The crowd was insane. And I think that was the catalyst moment that sort of pushed Priest into the direction in the eyes of WWE, see him as being a big star. And ever since then, of course, yeah, the Judgment Day been doing their thing, and they won tag team titles. They lost it at WrestleMania. But Damian Priest cashed in and won the World Heavyweight Championship. What do you guys think of Priest and his championship reign? Do you think it's going to last long, or see how it goes from there?
To see
Uh,
him go from Punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor
Ring of Honor. Uh-huh.
to this has been amazing. And the fact that he's an older competitor and finally getting his just due, he deserves it, man. Like they said it best when he was in NXT. It was that match with Finn that brought eyes to him. And then the work he did with Bad Bunny to put him over and also make himself look strong was even better. Winning the Money in the Bank was like a spotlight for him. Getting that tag team with Finn and then kind of distracting us, like we don't know when we're going to do it, but we're going to do it soon. And to see him get that moment at Mania, and he's over, and he's got a new theme song on Raw. And let's shout out Seth real quick for elevating that title to the point to where it is right now. But I believe it truly is almost like the IC title now, a workman's title. And I feel like Priest, can handle it. I feel like he'll get a good reign. I feel like this will last, maybe till SummerSlam or a little bit afterwards. But I just got to see, what's going to happen. And plus, we got to factor in, we got the draft coming up in 2 weeks. So we don't even know what the roster is going to look like after that. So it's going to be interesting.
yeah, man. I'm excited for it. Also, side note, Damian Priest is funny. He is very funny because I don't know if y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all watched that segment with Judgment Day celebrating and R-Truth that came in. He said, "Oh hell no!" I laughed. I laughed my ass off. Like I'm glad that he's getting just like I said. Hopefully, because like I said, they really didn't like like to me they didn't like build him as much within that year span of him winning the title. But hopefully, he does have a good reign. They give him some good dance partners because that's like I said on was it whatever day that was whenever me you and Brian and Warren were on that uh, his dance partners that he's with are going to help him as well throughout this title reign. So hopefully that they cook up the right stuff. But like I'm excited to see it. Like I said, it just everything just feels all brand new. It just feels
And the man,
new.
yeah,
You
man,
said what?
the man is winning too because apparently Mr. Steal Your Girl got Lana on his side now. My bad,
Yeah.
Rusev. But
Oh, for
hey,
real?
you ain't seen them pictures and them rumors?
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't
I haven't
seen it.
seen it either.
Sure, there's like, first of all, it was like 3 weeks ago when they said Lana and Rusev was getting a divorce. And then there's a
I heard about that.
picture surfaced with him and her at a bar. The night he won the title, another picture surfaces with them celebrating together. So I
Uh,
think Priest and Lana might be a thing. Can't quote me on it, but hey, I ain't mad at you, brother.
hey, yeah,
Hey,
man, but yeah, hey, but also like I said, I'm just glad to see new faces with titles. It honestly feels like something new. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the wrestlers that's been tenured there, but I've always said WWE has one of the most talented rosters like in the wrestling world that they just never really utilized like that.
it's
But
true.
now but now like Triple H, I feel like Triple H, his type of person is he's gonna keep on trying until he says, okay, look, I've given you all the tools. You just can't put yourself over. Like that's why
Mhm.
I'm praying that they can help Ricochet with his promo work and just his character. Because right now I love Ricochet, but he is literally just the flippy guy with the smile. That's literally his character.
Yeah. He,
My bad.
yeah,
Please let
he
me say,
already, yeah, he
please let me.
already mentioned that he's not like a promo guy to talk and stuff. So it's those guys sort of struggle, when you're good in the
Yeah,
ring.
So,
And wrestling is more to that. It's more storytelling. You can get in the ring, you do all these flips, suplexes, backdrops, and all that, but can you tell a story? Can you be emotional, and stuff like that? And I think Ricochet has a difficult time maybe adapting to it. I don't want to say he can't or anything, but I think it's a difficult thing, But his in ring, ability really got him to where he at right now. So um,
Rick, Rick, Ricochet, Ricochet to me could be the easiest heel ever. He just needs a manager because the only thing his gimmick has to be is I can do everything you can do, but 10 times better. That's all it has to
yeah,
be. He needs to be cocky early 2005 AJ Styles. I'm just such a good athlete and I'm better than you and I can prove it. Now, you're right. He's not that great on promos. Like he needs somebody that could example like an MVP who could just talk that ish, hype up the match and he just do the rest. That's all he has to do.
yeah. And then plus
hey,
like yeah, and then plus like with this heel character, incorporate Samantha Irvin in there somewhere. Like there is potential. There's potential for him. Like you said, he can work better as a heel because I just feel as a heel you have more freedom to do things because you're not you know because you're not like held down by a babyface want to do this. Heels don't give a fuck. Heels do not give a fuck at all.
nah, they
And
don't.
yeah, and like I said, I fell in love with Ricochet, like when he was Prince Puma. Like I like, oh, this guy's really cool. They can't then seeing him on the Indies, seeing him have a few matches here and there. Like I like, oh yeah, I definitely want to see this guy in WWE. See him in WWE, but he just can't get out of that mid. He just can't get out of that mid card funk. I call it the mid card funk.
Yeah,
We just stuck on the mid card and like, damn, you're just so talented. That's why for other people, Like Braun Breaker, I see that they won't be calling that mid card funk because he has character, and if they let him display that character, which Paul Levesque will, then I think
Hmm.
it's then like a lot of these dudes are going to work out. Like you know, I didn't think that these weird gimmicks, bet like would work in today's WWE, but like the whole family thing in NXT, like, oh wow, this actually does work. Like no matter how goofy it is, like this, it does work. So goofy gimmicks, it still work. You just gotta have the right people behind those gimmicks.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And
You're
then,
right. Now what you about to say?
no, I said, and then it was funny because I was just watching the video, like it was just a random ass throwback video of Stardust. Somebody said, what's so crazy is this could work today. This would work in today's WWE. Like, yeah, we got. Yeah, like we got mafia bosses in NXT. Yeah, it could work.
Yeah, did
Yeah, no
anybody
problem.
I ain't gonna lie, did anybody laugh on Monday when Liv threw that chair at Rhea's head?
Oh, but I laughed
Yeah.
my ass off because I had turned my head away for a second to eat a mozzarella stick, and I just hear I hear like a clank go across my head. Like, did somebody just throw a chair at somebody? Yeah, boy, it was
Liv
just
Morgan
random
said
too. It was
she
like
said she
so
coming for
random.
that ass. For real, she said,
Yeah,
"Becky, you done with Becky, and now WrestleMania is done. I'm coming for you now, though." But hey, I can't wait for that feud. I think that's going to be something nice. I love that Rhea Ripley still holding on to the title, so it's going to be great. But Ricochet being a heel, that'll be something interesting. That would be something interesting to actually see because he could do everything that you do, but better though. But it's just having a manager. And I think WWE, well, we're in a new era. Hopefully, we can see managers make a comeback because I think that was one thing that we had a lot, especially in the 80s and the 90s too, was managers, man. And, that sort of, disappeared, went away. And Paul Heyman seems to be sort of the only manager you have around now for like superstars. But I can definitely see him being with Braun Breaker in the future. Braun Breaker being a
That
Paul Heyman
kid's
guy. So yeah, what'd you say? You say you can't see it?
I said that kid's a star, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
But
Most definitely.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You know who really impressed me this WrestleMania weekend?
cool.
Oba Femi, bro.
Oh yeah, boy.
Oba,
Oh,
Oh, that
Oba,
was my.
man, y'all
Hey,
sleeping on
Oba,
Oba, man. Uber.
like
hey,
I'ma
no.
Man,
steal this. I'ma steal this phrase from Big E in that triple threat match. It was some big
it was
meaty man
me.
slapping meat, but
Oh
It was.
man, that
like,
was my favorite match.
like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the one thing we got to realize is Dijak has reinvented himself gratefully.
Mhm.
Like
Oh yeah.
especially from that retribution BS. Like he has done that tremendously. And Josh Briggs looks like the second coming of a young JBL. And
Mhm.
and Oba Femi is just like a certified star. Like that
Yeah.
was probably one of the best hard hitting triple threat matches in a long time. And the last time I saw two big men work like that, ironically, was Keith
It was
Lee and
Di-
Dijak.
mhm, Dijak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like
Yeah. Like that.
Oba has this presence, man. And it's like I think it's cool we get to see brothers that look like us doing this shit, man. Like
Yes.
it's like Dre said, even though we grew up in this, this the golden era, the attitude era, it wasn't a lot of us that was represented. You had your Thunderbolt Pattersons,
Mhm.
you had your Rocks, you had your Ron Simmons, you had your Big Cat Ernie Ladd, you had your Coco Bewares, Junkyard Dogs, but like out of all those names I mentioned, who can say they were the guy? Like the
Yeah.
guy, and like we all know we mess with the Rock, but we all know that brother leans into more of his Samoan side than the African side sometimes. So it was like, representation now matters. Like especially and like look at like all the people that are being inspired right now. It's like crazy.
Mhm. So so right about that, man. So right about that. like you guys mentioned, also Damian Priest, man. I remember him being punishment Martinez in Ring of Honor to see where he come,
All straight.
in NXT and now into the main roster with Judgment Day and stuff. I like where he's at right now. I see big things to come for Priest being the World Heavyweight Champion. Like you guys mentioned, Seth Rollins did build up the championship, and it feels good to see, it feels good to see new champions. Seth Rollins did his damn thing. Roman Reigns did the damn thing. Everyone, Gunther even, being these champions for a long time. And which I don't think we're going to see a reign like that for a while, which is okay because, Roman would just, that I don't think no one will ever do that for a long time. But just to see some new faces like Priest being a world heavyweight champion and others, I think it's going to be awesome though. But I think it's going to be some jealousness within the Judgment Day, specifically from Finn Balor, now that Priest is world heavyweight champion, and Finn Balor sort of can't get back to that moment though. So I think that's what's going to culminate with his championship run. He's sticking on Jey Uso at Backlash. He's going to have some other great guys, but I feel like the rivalry that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, it may happens. Which probably not right now because Judgment Day is on fire once again. But Priest versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship, I think that would be fantastic.
For real.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. For the WWE Championship, obviously, we got Cody Rhodes, man. He finished the story. We waiting to see what's next for Cody Rhodes. LA Knight or AJ Styles is going to be his first challenger. Who you guys sort of got? Is it going to be AJ? Is it going to be LA
AJ.
Knight? I'm thinking it's going to be AJ Styles versus
Yeah.
Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes.
I I feel like since LA won at Mania, AJ is gonna get this, and I feel like AJ and Cody have a slight history with them essentially both being in Bullet Club, and I think Cody would need a true. We just beat Roman, so I think we need to start telling the story of okay, how can we start developing the American Nightmare as a champion and credible competitors? And AJ Styles with his whole new heel gimmick he's leaning into is good. I just feel like it's the better thing because I feel like LA Knight jobbing to Cody does nothing for LA Knight. You know what I'm saying? He already took the L at Crown Jewel for Roman, and he's still popular. But a lot of people felt like they kind of fizzled him out or cooled him down a little bit. And what I
Yeah.
feel like should happen is somehow, some way, we get LA Knight to Logan Paul, since that's what I feel like they were teasing before we made the adjustments going into Mania. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this, and I gotta go put out this fire at work. And Dre, I appreciate you having me on, man. I
No
love this
problem,
shit.
man.
I love it, man. Like anytime you want me on here, I'm great. Shout out to my STR family, Brian and Lay. I feel like this. I feel like it'll be Cody versus AJ, and that'll be a good backlash. Now, if they do decide to do LA Knight, I would be surprised, but I wouldn't be mad at it. But I feel like it'll be AJ Styles. And one last thing before I go, anybody knows me, I'm a true fan. Guys, if you want to see two great matches from yesterday, two great matches. Number one, watch Mustafa Ali versus Hiromu Takahashi for the X Division Championship. And number two, even though I don't agree with all the bleeding, I got to give the devil his due. Shout out to John Moxley for winning the IWGP Heavyweight title. Like
Definitely,
that,
definitely.
that's not an easy prize to win. And I know the higher ups in New Japan are very, very selective who they get to carry their title. So shout out to him. But I gotta
Hey,
go.
appreciate you.
I love
No
y'all,
problem.
brothers. Love y'all, brothers.
Appreciate
Anytime
you.
you get on, Dre.
Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. Everyone, man, definitely go check out Straight Through the Ropes, man. Slim is on there. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. This was awesome, man. Thank you for awesome. I meant to actually mention this earlier on about John Moxley winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but dope news. And once again, Slim, thank you for coming through here on the show, man. It's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Uh,
Love
yes.
See ya.
No problem. No problem. No problem. But Jay, man, you said you got AJ Styles or you got Kevin Owens winning this
Yeah, I got AJ over LA Knight just for some fact. I don't think you should do a babyface versus babyface too soon. You want to kind of put him up against heels so you can make the crowd love him even more for beating. Which I look. I know AJ Styles are heels, but I can't hate AJ. I can't hate
Yeah,
AJ. So I like
I think
so, but it is. Huh?
I don't think no one can. I don't think no one can hate AJ Styles, man. I think he's just like, no pun intended. He's phenomenal. He done what he
Yeah.
done in the ring and being sort of given this phrase that he's the Shawn Michaels of this generation. Though everyone loves Shawn Michaels. The Heartbreak Kid. So yeah, I think it's going to be AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, like Slim said, and just like how you mentioned, he got to be someone strong. A great. First off challenger. I know a lot of people was mentioning Gunther, since he lost the Intercontinental Championship at
Save that
WrestleMania,
man.
and yeah, definitely. You took the words out of my mouth. Save it. Just save that one. And obviously, those two were the last two competitors in the 2023 Royal Rumble, and they were the last three competitors. Two of the last three competitors of this past year's Royal Rumble as well. So I know the Gunther story has a lot to tell, even the one with Randy Orton. So it's some good stuff
Oh
that
yeah.
they got cooking. So they just spoon it up and just making us wait though. But we gonna move on. Definitely, I meant to mention this when I was talking about AEW earlier. John Moxley becoming the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I definitely wanted to state that. The thing about AEW, man, that I like a lot, and I know these contracts were floating around on social media for a while. Would you sign here? Would you sign with Ring of Honor, TNA? WWE, AEW, stuff like that. And the one thing that popped up on the contract, the fantasy contract, is that AEW allows you to go off, man, and venture on to other promotions, whether it's New Japan or whether it's Hog or just so many different ones. And John Moxley, did his thing in New Japan, won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which I think John Moxley is awesome. He was trending. Well, Dean Ambrose was trending last weekend because everyone thought it was him. But what you think of what you think of John Moxley, man, and the whole just him being the champion now and that and the whole bleeding. I think that's the only thing with John Moxley I got right now. He just bleeds, like just like a pig, man. Just every single match though. But I guess you got to go all in. I guess if you're gonna bleed, right?
Yeah, for me, like I'm also biased because I've been a fan of John Moxley ever since his
No.
deathmatch days in CZW, and like
Okay.
I'm also just a fan of the person, which is funny enough. Funny story. Last year I actually did Instacart to John Moxley.
Oh wow, for real?
Yeah, it was when they had a wrestling show at Arlington. I looked at the name. I'm like John, huh? Like John, and it was going to like the Arlington Civic Center. Like it's weird. Then when like I'm just waiting in my car. I see a tap on my door. I just see that is John Moxley tapping on my windows.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So that was real cool. But like as far as like just him, I just knowing his story, what he's been through, what he's accomplished. Like I'm always happy for the man. Like I do like how like well Triple H he did that for Shinsuke. Like he let Shinsuke work shows while he was under contract. Hopefully that can be more of a thing because I I'm with the like I said I'm not with the whole tribalism thing. I'm like man I just love wrestling. So I think it's also good for these wrestlers so they can get like other audiences can get acclimated to them. So I'm also happy for him. Like I said, the IWGP title, they are very stingy with who holds that title. Like they are very stingy with who holds that title. So it's a huge honor for him. I did not watch the match, but I want to go watch the match because one thing
Yeah.
I've always liked about New Japan, the matches go crazy. The matches
Oh,
definitely go crazy.
yeah, I know they do. I know that for sure, man. They definitely go crazy. I haven't seen the match itself, but I definitely We'll check it out. Definitely heard the news this morning. You know, John Moxley becoming the IWGP champion, and also Mustafa Ali that was over there doing his thing. He's doing great as well as the X Division champion in TNA. So it's just wonderful, wonderful time, man, to be a wrestling fan. I remember, like I said, the whole tribalism. I'm not really with it, man. I remember when AEW first came out, man. It was in October of 2019 and I was at the the first televised AEW Dynamite in Washington D.C. And the energy there, the just was totally different. I never felt it before. It was nothing like going to a WWE show, and it was very hot at the time. You know, obviously, maybe 4 or 5 months, later, the pandemic happened. Obviously, shut shit down. So it was a little difficulties trying to recover from there with them, but they had some momentum and they were popular. But and when that specific time came, it just felt different to me because I remember a lot of people talking, who guys maybe are older than me, who talk a lot about WCW and and early '90s and the late '90s, especially when the NWO was there and such like that, and how people reference AEW to WCW, and I caught WCW maybe at the last year or so.
Yeah,
I heard about Goldberg. I knew about Goldberg. I knew about Sting. The NWA. I knew of those top guys, but I came in it with the end of it. So it was only I grew up just watching WWE. So I heard
yeah,
about TNA. They were just coming up, and so it wasn't no other competition out there. It really wasn't. I started watching TNA, but they just they they were shaky, but they were good. But then they got shaky for a minute. So for AEW to come in to be sort of number two, a choice, I think it's awesome, man. So to see guys there to thrive and like John Moxley doing this thing with the IWGP heavyweight championship, which is I think it's cool, man. I think it's real cool.
yeah, yeah.
Go,
I just
go,
hate I just hate how like wrestling fans want companies to fail because I'm like I also look at my mindset like well then you're also calling that people lose their jobs, which I'm never a fan for. And then like I tell people all the time like people talk shit about TNA like TNA like whenever they were trying to do their thing, people don't realize TNA actually was a very solid product for a while. Like, because I remember when they had, I don't know how it worked. I didn't know how it worked. I think they had the NWA title as their main title for a little bit. Like, yeah, Ron, yeah, R Truth as Ron Killings. When then
Mhm.
it kind of switched over to the TNA World Heavyweight title with AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. Like I said, that when I started watching TNA, I started actually getting acclimated to people that were like, that were vets of Ring of Honor and other indie wrestlers. So that's why I grabbed like, oh, there's actually more than just WWE out here. So that's when my love wrestling really grew. 'Cause like, oh, there's different styles to this thing. So like, I don't. Whenever people say, oh, it's gonna be the new WCW, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. Because WCW, yeah, AW doing some boneheaded things now, boy. But if you knew about what was going on with WCW, boy, I'm gonna tell you right now, they won't they were on drugs in the early like 2000 to 2000. They were on drugs. I don't know what they thought. I didn't know what they were on, but AEW. I'm not saying that they're not like in a situation because with this all in thing now, and they keep throwing shots, but they are nowhere. Go back and watch some old WCW early 2000 WCW episodes and tell me if you're able to get. At least I can get through an AEW episode. Them episodes back in the early 2000s, you could not get through it because it's just incoherent mess.
Yeah, I don't think you can, man. I don't think you can at all. So I give AEW all its praise, man. Like I said, wish all the wrestling companies, man, the best. Obviously, WWE is thriving right now on another level. So definitely, man. Give them all their praise, man. Before we wrap it up and get on out of here, man, it was one topic actually we were talking about. I actually want to get Slim's point of view, but it was all good because you mentioned earlier in the night, and I seen something going around. We was talking about it on Commission Talk this past week. How people were, a little bit. over the top with Samantha Irving. People weren't feeling her characteristics following the World Heavyweight, excuse me, the WWE Championship matchup after she announced that Cody Rhodes winning the match. Like I said, I think she is a phenomenal person, phenomenal woman. She can sing, do all that great stuff, and will go down as one of WWE's greatest ring announcers of all time. I don't we don't argue that Howard Finkel is definitely up there. He's top notch. You knew when you was watching a WWE WWF pay per view. You don't even have to ask what it is, man. When you heard Howard Finkel's voice, you knew you were watching a pay per view, man. He made it special. He made it feel good. Lillian Garcia had it great. She always sung the national anthem before the shows and all that great stuff. So Lillian, will always have a special place in everyone's heart too, because she was the ring announcer growing up, sort of in the late '90s, in the 2000 eras. But Samantha, man, I think she just brings the character out even more, with Chelsea Green, Giovanni Vinci, Ludwig Kaiser, the Bloodline, just numerous names though. So I definitely just wanted to say that. Like I said, I mentioned this because Slim said it, but he had a role, and I know we definitely chatted about it on this past week where you were on Commission Talk with the guys with us, and we were definitely talking about Samantha. I know some people feel as though she's a little over the top with it or whatever, but I think she brings a lot of flavor into it. I know one referee before Samantha, it was actually the guy who's in AEW right now. What's his name? You know
It's
the
not
ring announcer name?
it's not Tony Schimmel because he old. I
No,
know I know who you're talking about because I was like, oh dang, they got him. I forgot his
yeah,
name.
the Dapper Yapper. I'm just gonna say the Dapper Yapper uh, of AEW. I cannot think of his name though. I remember, definitely, high fiving him, meeting him. When he was with WWE, sitting front row. But I can't think of his name. But yeah, he had that feel to it in a little while. He didn't have a little Chelsea Green on it, but he did make it feel big time though. So I definitely love Samantha, man. Definitely love Samantha.
And also for everybody that's be like, she ain't she can't be one of the best. Hey, I'm just put it this way. When Bruce Buffer gives you the stamp of approval, that's when you know you made it. Bruce Buffer, in my
Mm.
opinion, is one of the great Bruce Buffer is one of the most is one of the if not the greatest announcer in all of whether any type of combat sport, whether it's pro wrestling or anything. That man,
Yeah.
you it can be two homeless men fighting with Bruce Buffer announced it. It feel like a big fight field. That's all I'm saying. So when Bruce Buffer gives you that stamp of approval, oh, you got it. You definitely got it.
Yeah, you're right. You definitely right, man. Bruce Buffer is the guy, man. So he definitely delivers some big time fights, man. Or, announce some big time fights. But you guys, man, it's been a wonderful episode, man. My son done fell asleep in the background. He was sitting here, listening to Daddy chat wrestling. I guess he got a little bit bored. But man, been a great episode, man. Appreciate everyone tuning in on X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Appreciate it so much, everyone who stopped past and check out the episode. Also, man, shout out to Slim. Check him out, man. He's 1/3 of Straight Through the Ropes, man. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. With Brian B. That's my guy from Commission Talks, man. So definitely go check him out. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Straight Through the Ropes, man. Also, man, Jason, I appreciate you for coming through here on the show. This was awesome time. I know Wednesday the guys were going at it a little bit, and I know Warren was like, "Hey, you mind if Jason come on the show?" For a minute, and I sort of forgot. I was like, "Damn, which one is Jason?" But when we saw you Wednesday, I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, cool." And the guy, well, at least Warren, that I don't want to throw Warren over the bus, man. He's my man, but I was like, and you bite the guests on, man. You gotta allow them to talk, man. So I thought about you after the episode. So I bring him back on, man, and see if you want to chat wrestling. So it was fun having you on, man. But before you go, any questions, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
Oh well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's always a blast talking pro wrestling, and I didn't take offense to it because
Nah,
I
yeah,
already
it's all
know.
fun.
Yeah, I already know what Brian and Warren, especially when it comes to Cody and the Tribal
Yeah.
Chief. I already knew it's gonna be heated, so I just wanted to bring a fine bottle on there just to rub it in. But yeah, man, y'all can find me at the Bring the Popcorn podcast tomorrow. Hopefully, we will be back to doing our movie content. We'll be reviewing hopefully Kong versus Zilla, and Age of New Empire. Gonna be reviewing that Monkey Man and reviewing that A24, the new A24 movie Civil War. That is for tomorrow.
Ooh.
And as for wrestling, I will be like I did say on Wednesday, we will be doing wrestling content through WWE 2K with our own wrestling show brought throughout 2K, whole production. We talking about commentary, talking about wrestling, talking about story, everything you see in WWE and just in wrestling world, just in video game form, but treating like a live production. I have finally finished editing the first match of the card of a 4-match card, so still got a lot of work to do. But I definitely will be doing Twitch streams, which is Bring the Popcorn. Subscribe to our Twitch, and it'll be there. We'll I might have Dre on as well while we putting things together, or just show behind the scenes, just to also talk wrestling and like just a real chill environment. But other than that, you know, bring the popcorn on all social media platforms. Just find us, and we will most likely be there.
Hey man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate you a lot, man. Bring the popcorn. I like that. Bring the popcorn podcast. Definitely check them out, man. I'm gonna put the links down below, and definitely make sure you go subscribe to them. And check them out. Everyone who's watching on X, man, definitely subscribe to Bring the Popcorn podcast, and also subscribe to the 11:30 podcast. I know everyone who's watching on X and everyone who's watching on YouTube, definitely smash the like button and subscribe. We about to head on out of here. But you guys, until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay blessed, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, for myself, Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Appreciate you, Slim, for coming through on the show. And as well as Jay, man. Thank you guys. Bro, until next time, man. I'm out. Peace.
Peace.